Good evening and welcome back to Center Point. Thanks for joining us on this busy news day. We begin with the war in the Holy Land, where a temporary ceasefire in Gaza continues to hold. International mediators were pushing today to get Israel and Hamas to agree for another extension of the ceasefire due to end tonight. The hope among negotiators is that a long-term ceasefire would be negotiated, leading to the release of more hostages and a potential peace treaty. Israel, however, has been clear that its goal is total elimination of Hamas in Gaza. We're joined now by Cohen, an Israeli special operations veteran. Welcome back to the show. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Do you think that there is an appetite at all from Israel for any type of peace treaty? Because that's what some of these negotiators are pushing for.
No, I don't think right now is the time to be talking peace. Let me make it very clear. The type of terror organization Hamas is. I know Hamas better than most people. I've spent over 22 years in the special operations and intelligence business in the counterterrorism space. The logo on the Hamas bandana, famously worn during the October 7th massacre, says in Arabic, Hat al-Mut, which literally translated means till the death. When you're dealing with an organization that is committed and honors dying to be able to further its cause, to kill innocents, take hostages, rape women, kill children, behead them, burn them, there's only one way to deal with a group like this, and this isn't Fatah. It's none of the other offshoots that Israel's been at war with for years. Its closest counterpart would be ISIS. In fact, Hamas is ISIS. When you're dealing with a group like that, the only way to be able to effectively conduct operations against a group like Hamas is a total destruction of the organization, both physically and ideologically. And that's where I come out with that.
So right now, Israel is losing their momentum from this pause in fighting. What kind of disadvantage does this present to them, to the IDF?
Well, the disadvantage to this temporary ceasefire is that Israel has been systematically deploying what we call a Sir Lachatz campaign, and literally translated, that means pressure cooker campaign. It's what I call an intelligence role, which means that while they're conducting operations, and that includes JTAC or Joint Tactical Control Operations via their Sheldag unit, which is their elite Air Force unit. It's the unit that puts those missiles strategically into those structures, and they've eliminated thousands of terrorists. You've got S-13, which is the Israeli SEALs. You've got units like Duv Devan. You've got elite infantry units like Givati, Golani, and different special operations forces, including Oketz, the Israeli Special Operations Dog Unit, combined with Yachlom, which is the EOD unit or the Sapper unit. These units have been rolling an impressive intelligence gathering on-the-fly campaign that's allowed them to be able to apply that intel real time and then continue to sweep tunnels, methodic, slow and deliberate clears of those structures in northern Gaza, again, reducing risk to civilians. In conjunction with armored units, and again, there's a lot of reserve pieces here. Israelis, they'll come out from their normal lives, jump back into uniform, and they've been so impressive that I believe that they're going to be teaching Israel's tactics here over the next 30 years at war colleges. The disadvantage to slowing the intelligence-based grab and roll operations is that it kills the operational momentum. And that operational momentum is extremely important when you're dealing with real-time actionable intel. So I think it's a mistake to stop those operations. Right now, they haven't been stopped too long, but I think, Bibi understands all this really well. He's one of our warrior sons. He served in our General Staff Reconnaissance Unit, Seret Matkal. It's one of the top units in the world. And he understands the complexities and difficulties of this. But he's got good people in the Mossad. He's got good people in the Shin Bet. And so now they're going to use that time right now to get those hostages back, Lindsay, because like I've said to you, that's our first priority. We want to get our people back. However, I don't think it's a great deal. And again, every single one of those hostages matters to us. In fact, Israel, we'll go to war to get hostages back. Yeah. That's what we do. That's the kind of business that we're in, and that's the price that we pay. But I'll tell you why it's not a great deal, and here's my concern. My concern is that in addition to the slowing of the momentum, I believe that instead of getting only 30% of our hostages back, or 10 a day, we should get that number closer to 70 or 80% of those hostages back. The reason why is because you have to ask yourself, who has the leverage in this deal right now? And I think Biden caved to the international pressure, which was deployed by Hamas using psychological warfare, which infiltrated that Oval Office. And now Israel's in a position right now where they've got to cave to that pressure. However, again, Bibi's got a good handle on this, and so does his Mossad, and so does his Shin Bet and Amman intelligence chiefs. And so right now they're gathering intel. They're debriefing hostages as they're being released. But Israel needs to get his foot back on the gas as soon as possible, because at the end of the day, what's going to be better for not only Israel but for the Palestinian people is the complete elimination of Hamas, as I mentioned. And that's part of that macro package right now. So Israel's got to get back to work, and Israel is prepared to do so the moment that flow stops of hostages.
Let me ask you this before we go, and I only have seconds left here, but there were trucks that were brought into Gaza with tons of supplies and fuel for the Palestinian people. How can the IDF ensure that that is not going to Hamas, or can they? Only 30 seconds left.
Well, it's difficult. You know, you're talking about 200-300 trucks, and it's important for us, or for Israel, to get those trucks and get that aid to those Palestinians. How do they monitor those trucks? There's GPS devices, there's cameras, there's aerial assets, there's drones. It's a lot of ways we look at that stuff. We've got Mossad agents, crawling all over the Middle East. Don't forget, we speak the language, we know the culture, we know where those trucks are getting packed up from. Israel's got a very good grasp on the intelligence game. You know, we didn't invent counterterrorism, but I can assure you that Israel has mastered it. So there's a lot of eyes watching right now, and there's thousands and thousands of phone calls being listened to, Lindsay. We're keeping a very close eye, I can assure you.
All right, Aaron Cohen, appreciate your expertise and your insight this evening. It's good to see you.